All right,
All right,
so
going
welcome
live.
to the. We're live. We're gonna do it live. So what? Hey, welcome to Tuesday night. Good times with Alex and Ryan reunion. It's been it's been a while. It's been a while, man.
Yeah, yeah. What it was like? What 21?
It had to have been something like 2021. When I sent you the Dear John letter.
I know. I know. It was like during COVID, like because we didn't know how bad it was, and then we were like kind of joking,
Yeah,
like, "Oh, maybe we shouldn't joke on.
I was
We shouldn't."
like, dude, we're running out of toilet paper here at the house. We're
Yeah, I remember joking like, and make sure it's 2 ply. You
yeah.
remember?
Yeah. I can't remember who it was, but somebody would be like, "Oh, like whenever you'd wipe your butt, they'd be like, "Oh, you can like actually save paper by using two ply by like pulling it."
They
You
would
know?
they would have different like remedies for like instead of using toilet paper,
Oh yeah,
you could reuse a rag or
or
something.
corn cob, or a piece of pine cone, or
All the while, Arnold Schwarzenegger's in there with his in his nice hot tub saying, "Guys, don't work." It's like me, I'm not working. We
yeah,
have to pay our bills.
yeah. He's all, "What do you mean you didn't make Terminator 2? What? You don't have $100 million?" He I do remember when the Kardashians got in trouble for that because they hosted like a private party or something like that. Do you remember that? They like rented an island during COVID.
Dude, like they were all above it. Like all the celebs, like it was funny because you would watch sports games and everyone had to mask except the celebrities, and then like people like Gavin Newsom and stuff, the ones that are saying like "Don't do this or you're gonna die," they
Yeah.
would like have like parties, like, and no one would be masked because they'd be private, so people wouldn't know.
Yeah. Where's Dr. Fauci? Is he still around or was he like discredited?
Oh, he's still around. I mean, like they had they just had a hearing,
For
and
him,
like
for him?
yeah, and there was uh, objective proof that he lied, but he they couldn't say anything in Congress because he just he was like that. Was it Dave Chappelle or whatever? Where he's like, "I
Oh,
plead the
oh, he
fifth,"
just wouldn't say anything. He just wouldn't say anything.
and he'd be like, "The fifth."
like
but
like
but
Mark
apparently,
Furman.
but apparently he wasn't allowed to plead the fifth because he was pardoned. So like, I guess that makes it to where you don't have to plead. You're not allowed to plead the fifth if you're pardoned.
Wait a minute. So what were they charging him with? They wanted to say that like you lied about the
I think they just
how
wanted. I just think Congress wanted to show like that he wasn't fully truthful,
he was,
and
dude, spreading fear like crazy, man. He was spreading fear like all over the place. Like, hey, if you don't get vaccinated, you don't do
well,
this.
the thing is like all the businesses everywhere had to listen to whatever the CDC was because
Yeah,
if you didn't, they would get sued. So
yeah.
even though like it was science or whatever, but let's talk about He-Man.
Hey, no, hold on. You only hate are mad at me because I believe in science.
Yeah. Well, the science was okay. So when you mix like fear and neuroticism
Hmm.
with like science, the science is stretched because they want a certain thing out because they're scared. But
Yeah.
that's just it's over, thank goodness. So
Well, dude, I lost I lost like 150 pounds during COVID.
wow. Yeah,
I
you were you start. That's when you're like, all right, I'm running.
I
I'm getting in shape. I remember that. Like, so
yeah.
you can't just say
No,
that's
I
like
mean
because
it was easier to do it though because it was easier to run and be able to like carve out a time to exercise because it's like nobody had to go to work. I remember Fox was like well, I actually that's a lie. When I was at the restaurant, I didn't have to go to work because they closed down. But when I was at Fox Sports, I had to go to work because they deemed us essential because it was a radio station. And I just remember thinking, like, what? How is it essential that I'm talking about Korean baseball? How is that? Like, I guess,
Well, it's because of the news. They needed to get it out. Like,
yeah,
oh, remember they shut down like areas or whatever,
yeah,
like
yeah.
to get all that out. But I remember like when you were doing that, when you were running a lot, and you were like you're still doing it, but like you were like in a Armageddon zone or something like that because there was smoke and fire. You're like, hey, I'm in Eugene, guys. Check out all this fire.
Oh,
I'm about to die, but hey, look at this. It's pretty crazy.
I ran with a medical mask on when it was like
You were out jogging in that like heavy smoke.
yeah, it was the fires in Eugene in like 2020. So not
Yeah.
only was COVID going on, so we had a lockdown, but we also had like severe fires in Eugene, Oregon at that time. And I was exercising every day, guys, and I put this like medical mask on, and I couldn't breathe through the mask, but I was like so determined to not be as big as I was that I still went out there. That was like one of the dumbest things you could ever do. I was watching David Goggins videos like crazy. There was
It was okay. So like, picture this though. You're out there. You're just like running in that stuff, right? Just smoking everywhere. Okay. Fast forward a few years. New York gets smoke, and they're acting like they're all gonna die.
I
Like
know,
you're out there jogging in it, and they're like, "Oh, look at this! Oh no, poor us!" And
dude.
you're able to just
Let me tell you a story about that. There was so when I was working at this restaurant, Eugene, there was this lady that came in and she like looked so sad. And I said, how are you doing today? And she's like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not doing very good. And I said, well, what's going on? She says, well, my house just burnt down. So she came in to get food right after her house burned down. And I was just like, it was one of those where like the record scratched, like I didn't even know what to say.
yeah. That's what I was gonna ask next. I was like,
Yeah. I don't even know what to say in this situation. And then I was like, well, I guess the house was insured. That's good. But I apparently she had just finished paying it off and it burnt
"Oh no."
down. Yeah, she like made the last payment like a couple months prior or something. It's a
Sir,
bad.
you're like serving, right? So you got to make people happy.
I
And
was, yeah, I was putting on my smiley face, and it was like one of those situations. Like, how you doing today? Oh, well, my dog's dead. Like, and then it's like, how do I even? It's
I
not
mean, there's
not a good deal.
yeah, yeah. That makes it like, oh, okay.
Hey, everybody in the chat. So Nicole says hi. Sean says everyone liked the stream. We got some more people joining right now. I think we had 16 a second ago. Um, Ryan is one of my really good friends from grade school all the way through high school, all the way till now. Ryan and I had a podcast together called Good Times with Alex and Ryan, and it's on Spotify still, right?
I don't know.
I think it is. I think it is. I think it is on Spotify, and I think it might be on like Apple, iHeartRadio. I think it's on all those still. Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, if you guys want to check that out, we have like I want to say like close to 75 to 100 episodes. We have to. It's a lot. And then the guy who did our logo was a guy who Ethan Nicole is the one who created Axe Cop, and he did our logo for us. So that he made our podcast is so old now that we had a hand drawn actual logo that wasn't made by AI. So we actually had to have the guy physically hand draw us a logo. Ronald Woods says yes. What's up, Ronald Woods? Welcome to the live stream. The boys are back in town tonight. Ryan, you said that you had recently seen the He-Man movie and you were texting me last week about it. And you
yeah.
now you're watching some of the cartoons. So now you kind of know what the hell I was talking about.
You were so excited.
Yeah,
You're like I was because I was watching your posts, and you're just like, "Okay, let's go watch this He-Man, guys. You got to watch it. It's not doing too good.
I
Come on, let's
know.
all go see it." I was
I
like, I
know.
want to support him, but I can't. I can't get out. I got work and family, and I eventually got a chance, and I went and saw it,
Yeah.
and
You like it?
it, it was fun. It was fun. Like not my like oh amazing, but it was a fun movie. It but the things is like I never I think I watched one or two when I cartoons when I was a little kid, and I hardly
Yeah.
ever remember it. But it made more sense when I watched a little bit of the cartoon after the movie.
Well, that He-Man movie was like they made a He-Man movie in 1987 that was not a hit at all. It starred Dolph Lundgren was the guy who played He-Man, the Ivan Drago from Rocky 4, and he looked
Yeah,
like He-Man. He looked like He-Man.
yeah. Did you
But
watch that one?
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I have that on. I have that on like DVD and VHS.
You're like, I love it.
Yeah, I
I'm
like
gonna
it.
support this.
I like it. But no, the
You know, it's
movie,
a
the He
movie.
Man movie, like I saw it three
Oh,
times in theater. Um, I had a lot of fun with it. I guess I'm just like emotionally attached to it, so I didn't want to see it bomb. But the transformation scenes where like he becomes He Man from Prince Adam is like you get the you get goosebumps on your arms because it's like it's pretty cool. My dad when my dad saw that movie with me, he's like, when does he turn into He Man? Like because it took like an hour.
well, so like I thought it was some of the stuff was a little like campy. Like
They did that on purpose, though.
well, no, I get it now that I watched the cartoon,
Yeah.
but like, I didn't get it at first. Like the parts where he's like, "Look, guys, let's just talk this out. I'm sure we can all come to a good solution. I know you just like vaporized and made Moss Man like a thing, you just like murdered thousands and thousands of people. But if we could
Moss
just
Man.
talk about this,
He's Skeletor's like, I'm gonna start off by taking each one of you out. Like, who should we go with? And who is this? Moss Man. And then Moss Man is like, Skeletor is like, I made mulch. Jared Leto, dude, Jared Leto did a good job with that movie. He was Skeletor. Did you know that?
man, you're jumping ahead, man. We got to stick on Moss Man first. I
Mo-
made mulch.
yeah, dude, Moss Man was only in that movie for like 20 minutes,
Well,
maybe.
yeah, and so they pick out like let's make up a creature that's the most unrelatable creature we can ever think of, so the audience doesn't feel too bad when he dies.
Moss Mossman was a
Dude,
main character though on the show.
I haven't seen him yet. I've been through like seven
He's
or eight.
on. He's like in season two. Um,
Oh,
his action figure that they made in the '80s, they put patchouli oil or something. They flocked him with actual like flock, so he feels like moss. And then Stinkor, who's the skunk, they put patchouli oil in the plastic,
we
so it
haven't even got,
smelled.
I haven't even
So
got to the Stinkor guy.
yeah, Stinkor. I don't even know that Stinkor's in the cartoon. He's not. I think they just made the toy. Seriously. No, He Man was a good movie. I think that people were upset about. They were saying it was woke, and they did some race swapping because Man at Arms in the cartoon was white and in the movie is black. But Idris Elba, Idris Elba was good as Man at Arms. Duncan,
He was,
he
yes.
was very good. As a matter of fact, I kind of almost think he was like the best in the movie. Um, and He Man, like like when you were saying that He Man was like a negotiator and like, oh hey, let's talk this out. Like, what was he in at the office at his
He was
job?
the HR guy.
He was an HR guy, and he's like trying to talk to Trapjaw about like trying to de-escalate the situation.
Come on, guys, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
And then he felt bad. He's like, I had to rip his arm out.
he's all. Did you see? He's all. Did you see that? I ripped that guy's arm off. Um, he's basically He Man is basically bulletproof though. Like when they're doing like that Star Wars scene kind of where they're doing like almost like the speeder bike scene when they're in the
Yeah, he
woods.
just stopped it. He's like,
Yeah, the Roton, he just rips the blades apart. Let's just stick your hand in a saw blade and see what like nothing. What would your grandpa have said? Hey, what would your grandpa have said if you stuck your hand in the freaking the sawzall or the skill saw over there by Tony's desk? Just like
I don't know. So, oh my goodness, yeah, that was what were your thoughts? Like, what else was funny on that movie?
I think that okay, so Jared Leto was really good. I was concerned about him playing Skeletor because he was so terrible as the Joker that, and he's also just
Wait, which Joker?
he was the one in Suicide Squad.
Oh, I didn't watch that one. So,
Yeah, well, there's a reason why you didn't watch because it wasn't that good.
oh,
Um, he just like he's really method too. He does a lot of weird stuff on set. He like deliver when he was playing the Joker, he was delivering people like dead animals on set. Like
oh,
he also just had a ton of essay allegations just come out. So
huh?
he might be in serious trouble. The one
Yeah.
his saving grace for me is He-Man, and he also played Prefontaine in a Prefontaine movie. Do you remember that?
No, I've seen the Prefontaine movies, but
Yeah,
like I don't remember them.
he was one of them.
I really liked him in Tron. I
Oh, did
thought he
you
did.
like Tron? You like Tron?
I like all the Tron. Yeah, I like Trons.
Tron
Yeah.
all the Tron has a Tron movie, and I'm not saying this like to be mean or anything. Have any of the Tron movies been a hit? Because
You
don't they
really,
all kind of bomb?
I think you're mean. I think you really hurt my feelings.
Well, don't they all? Aren't they financial disasters? Every one of them.
I know the latest one was the middle one. I really liked. Like,
Okay.
that's my favorite. But the latest one didn't do too good with Jared, but I liked it. And
Mm,
then the first one was is like the first one is like what started it all, and like the nerds with the little rings on them, and they dress in the. It was a thing. It was a cultural thing, like kind of like Star Wars or whatever.
yeah. Well,
So,
the other day, hey, has Pokemon Go made a comeback? Have you noticed people trying to look on their
there was
phone looking for stuff lately?
so there. I think there's an anniversary, like that
Okay.
they're trying to push.
We
So
drove down the road the other day, and I literally saw like two parents with like 9 kids, and they were all like,
I
you
think it's
know,
possible. There was like I saw it advertised recently,
okay,
and
that's got to be what it is, man.
yeah. So I tried it recently too
Yeah.
because there's this app for gasoline, and if you play games, like you can get like 10 cents off a gallon. I'm like,
Okay.
gas so expensive these days. So like, so I tried playing it, and I ran out of Pokeballs, and apparently,
We're out of gas. I ran out of Pokeballs. We're Ryan. What happened? Ryan, what
I'm,
happened? Oh, I'm broke down on the side of the road. Oh, I
I've
ran
been
out of Pokeballs
I've been walking to work for a week
because you
because I
have
ran
no more
out of
Pokeball.
Pokeball. I'm trying, and I would say that like I've been of my own accord trying to get in shape, but I ran out of Pokeballs, so I've been
Yeah.
walking to work.
You're
Um,
like, you go to your car, you're like, Honda Accord, I choose you.
so like I was trying to get the 10 cents off, but like I ran out, and apparently to get more Pokeballs, you have to go places. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I'm not stupid, okay, because I'm trying to save gas. But if I
Yeah.
drive to a place, I'm gonna waste it all anyways. So I gave that up.
Hey,
But
someone in the chat, someone says, yeah, right, 6021. Man, grow some Pokeballs. Ryan, that's a catch 22. It's like, I have no gas because I have no Pokeballs, but I have to go places in my car far away to get Pokeballs. So it's like a credit card. Do you know like when they have cash back on credit cards?
yeah,
And
yeah,
they're like, oh, you get like 3% cash back or whatever. And it's like you only have to spend like $500 to get like $8 back or something. And it's
yeah.
like, oh, this is almost like this Target trip is like free basically because you spend $500 to get 8 back. They know what they're doing with that stuff, dude.
Well, yeah, it's like so. It's not even as much as like well up here there's sales tax. Like It's not even as much as the sales tax.
Yeah.
But
What's
yeah, yeah. So there's this trend online called like, oh, I don't know if it's still going, but it's called like girl math. It's like, okay, well, if I spend all this, I get.
yeah.
So yeah, I see you use the girl math.
The credit card thing is definitely the girl math. They're like, it's like when you go to a casino. Like, I don't really gamble at all anymore, but when I used to, you would have your like your whatever card you'd put in at the casino, and it'd be like, oh, I did like 10 spins at $1 a spin. I lost every one of them, but I have like 50 cents back in like free play or something, or like cash to get a burger at the concession stand or something. So you spend like hundreds of dollars to get like a free lunch. It's
It's
so
all related, right? So the Pokeballs are there to get me addicted
that's
to
right.
Pokemon, and
That's
yeah, so the
exactly
gambling is
the same
pushing money.
thing.
But like my goal, like when the like with this app, this gas app, it's the one with the dinosaur, but
Hmm.
like is to not spend any money. But then I realized I'm like, this is taking me forever. I'm wasting so much time on this. I can be doing something else.
Yeah. You're like, dude, I could literally have got a part-time job like delivering groceries for Walmart and
and
made
got and got 10 cents, all the 10 cents for years.
yeah, you could have made I did Walmart deliveries for a while, and like if you do like one or two a day, you can like make like $50 a day.
Yeah, but
Like
you like, what about the gas and stuff like
you got to
and
be that's an excellent question because that definitely affects how much you make. If you do like they send you deliveries and they're like, "Hey Ryan, do you want to take this one?" and they'll show you the mileage and they'll show you what they're paying you. So you just make a decision based off that. So you want to pick ones that are like really close to you. So $25, $30, keep your mileage down. You bring in $55, you pay $5 in gas. Something like that. Um, but if you're dumb and you see a big number, they're like, "Oh, 27 deliveries, hour and a half driving time." It's like, but they're giving you $60. It's like, yeah, they're giving you $60, but you're paying 40 in gas or something.
I heard that though if you take more, you get more. Like,
Oh, they'll send
uh,
you more.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
probably right. It's all based off an algorithm. It's got to be that you're probably correct. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing though. That I can just push a button and someone will be here like in an hour or two. It's like,
I
what
dude,
world am I living in?
I seriously, the first time I saw somebody get Amazon delivered, they like delivered them some like Smirnoff Ice and toilet paper. And I was like, what is this? I was like, you can order this to your house like this? It just blew me away. That was like 2015 or something, 2016. I was like, this is the craziest world we live in, dude. Like, you don't even have, when we were kids, hey guys in the chat, when Ryan and I were kids, if you wanted delivery, the only thing you could get would be like pizza or like Chinese food or something. Maybe.
Or you could be, or some parents would send their kids to get cigarettes, and so that would be kind of like their
My
Uber.
mother, my mom sent me to the grocery store with a note that said Alex is allowed to buy cigarettes.
That used to be common. Like that, I didn't know that. Like that used to be a thing.
They
That was
knew
old school. Even
they like knew my grandfather and they knew my mom, so they were like, "Oh, it's whatever, it's fine. He's not using them. He's bringing them to home or whatever." I remember shopping at those grocery stores. Like Safeway was like right by my house. My mom would write this big grocery list, and I would go down there like Kevin McAllister in Home Alone, like shopping for all this. I was like 8, 9 years old
whoa,
using
we could run around. Like I remember that. Like
yeah.
I was talking to my mom the other day, and she's like, you had like because you had an amazing neighborhood because like you had a whole bunch of guys your age that you could
Mhm.
just go outside and hang out with, and
Yeah.
I mean, people say it was kind of like the times then, like because we didn't have phones or whatever. We just played until it got dark and we couldn't see anything anymore.
Oh,
But
and you'd make up games. I remember playing can baseball. Like we literally just hit this pop can until it was like so dented down and tiny, and that was what we played can baseball with. So at first, when you're throwing it, it's a can. And the more you hit it, the harder and more smaller it gets, and then you start pelting each other with it when you hit line drives at the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, canned baseball was ridiculous. Where you grew up, though, I remember you had that like awesome park right down the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had
Yeah.
a
That was fun.
you had the
What's that?
you had the Lionhead Park right down the road, and then you had another.
Did you? Was it you that just took a picture of
Oh
that
yeah,
lion?
yeah.
I
Nicole and I went there for lunch. We brought Geno's there.
because I'm like, wow, memories. I can't believe it's still there. And
It
it actually,
works.
it hardly ever worked when we were kids.
Oh, it never
Is
worked. And you
is
know
the
what?
tunnel there? Is that little?
I don't know. No, I don't think the tunnel's there, but it's like a kind of a new playground. They still have the swing set up on the upper part of the hill by Ashley Lawrence's house. Um, yeah, and then what?
We don't know names. We we just name people
Well,
like this person. You know,
up
we
by our friend Ashley's house was a on that playground was old school like swing set, and then the Lionhead Fountain guys had been at this park for like probably from when Ryan and my parents were kids, and like the big thing about water fountains, and at least that one for sure, I was always nervous to drink out of them because kids were crazy and they'd pee in them. So I was
yeah.
like, "Oh, great! I'm gonna get a mouthful of lion urine in my mouth as soon as I like Mufasa. I'm so thirsty." A mouthful of the pride of the jungle. What a fun day at Lionhead Park, State Street Park.
That's what it was. And the
Yes.
like, and there was a basketball court there, and people would play like late into the night. Can you imagine having a house there? Like,
Have you
like
across the street?
yeah, kids play no, like because it'll carry like kids playing till like 11 at night, and you're just trying
Yeah.
to get some sleep, and you just see
You hear the basketballs ricocheting off. Boing. Hey,
yelling.
at that Ryan, at that park, there was like a in the middle of the field, there was like it was like a tree or a bush. There was like a bush that you could walk into.
Yes,
Do you remember
yeah, yeah.
that? I was like, I think like seventh grade, maybe eighth grade. I don't remember the exact grade. Mackenzie and I decided, Mackenzie was one of my friends growing up and Ryan's friend. We just decided we were going to skip school that day and just hang out in that bush all day long. So
Why?
instead, I don't know, Ryan, I
That
don't
sounds
know.
so fun. You know what? We're gonna skip school
Yeah.
and just hang out.
We're gonna go hot because we were at the age where you can't hang out at your house. We were in like seventh or eighth grade, so we just went and hung out in the bush all day long at the park. Ridiculous.
Usually at that age, you went to the mall and then you just kind of walked around this. Maybe go to Ashworth's, buy a little candy.
Yeah, but then
Look,
like cops would know you're supposed to be in school at like 11 o'clock. Why are me and Mackenzie walking around?
I don't know.
They're like,
Did they ever stop and like, hey, what are you guys doing, you
I
troublemakers?
never had. I don't think I ever had anybody like stop me in like junior. No, I don't think ever. No, they probably just
Yeah,
assumed you were going to school.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they didn't. So we talked about He-Man. You wanted to talk to me. You said you wanted to talk to me about the Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan documentaries that you watched on Netflix.
Oh, oh yeah. So what? I mean, I've always liked Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
Like, um, like he was my like. I wasn't ever too much into wrestling, but Hulk Hogan was like, okay, I know who he is.
sure.
And then like, I watched the documentary. It was pretty interesting. Um,
Yeah, to say the least.
that part you mentioned about
Which part?
what was it? The drugs that he was taking as popsicles.
Dude, Hulk Hogan got, yeah, Ryan just brought up when Hogan was in TNA, he was in like so much pain that the doctor prescribed him fentanyl lollipops and he had fentanyl patches. So he had like fentanyl patches on like his legs, his back. He's got fentanyl lollipops and like I guess it was like so much that the guy they were like you should be dead. Like legitimately you should be dead. There's no way that someone should be able to handle that much fentanyl.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy. And then like he said he stopped. Like he was like on all that stuff. He's like, nah, I'm done. And he's like, I just take regular stuff.
But how do
Uh,
you? He had to have weaned himself off that. There's no way.
I don't know. Some people are more prone to it though. But like what I notice about him is, you remember when he was young, he broke his leg.
Yeah, when he
I
was training,
I don't think he had strong like bones, like because he said his back went out so much. But then like he kept doing it. Like I
the
don't
leg
know,
drop.
man. Well, he kept wrestling. Like, oh crap, I had a really bad back. It's surgery. It hurts bad. Just gotta get back in that ring, man. And
I
they just like do it again and again. I'm like, what are you doing?
I think that I think that when you're, especially him, like when you're the top dog and you're used to making so much money, and he was just spending so much money, and he had that massive divorce. I think that he had to do it. I guess, right?
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, like, cause he had all that other stuff going for him, but like, um, that that divorce, like learning about it, kind of surprised me because when it happened, I was like, because that was shortly after his son got in trouble, like for killing someone, being a drug or whatever. Because I was like,
His buddy's a vegetable, right? Is that what? Did he pass? Did the kid pass away?
I don't know exactly what happened, but like their divorce happened like not too long after that wreck. So I was like,
Yeah,
did their lawyer tell them to split up, so that the lawsuit wouldn't take as much money? Like that's what I was thinking it was. I didn't know it was like,
an actual legitimate divorce.
yeah, like because like apparently she knew he was messing around, but like I mean that's pretty in their own bed. Like that was pretty.
Yeah, I think that. Excuse me. I think that they might have had an open marriage at one point because I had heard a lot of things about them.
I don't know
But
about what about her. I don't know. I I
I
heard
don't
she
know.
said like she knew he was doing it. She didn't like it. But he had all these benefits. Rich and strong and all that stuff.
Yeah, and he's the
But
one bringing in the money and stuff for
but he
the.
but he did cross the line. Well, I mean, like it was also like Brooks' friend or whatever,
Yeah,
and so he just like he just didn't think much. I don't think. I think he just like didn't really.
whatever he wanted to do, he just did it.
Yeah.
He like had such a really bad reputation for like not letting other wrestlers like have the spotlight. He was like always trying to like be the main attraction, even into his late like 40s. Um,
Yeah, how did he get? You said mentioned something like he had creative control.
he had creative control over basically anything he did. So if he like didn't want to lose, he didn't have to lose. And if he didn't want you to win in your match, you weren't going to win your match. So he had like full say over whatever happened in that company because he was just so popular. They wanted to have him.
Huh. Oh, that, I mean, yeah, bringing in a moneymaker like that. But yeah, wow. Um, so I brought him up because these younger people they hate him. Like
Everybody
yeah,
does because of that racist,
that racism thing he
the,
said.
ra- the racist tape. The sex tape was really bad for him, and then that was also the racist tape. And then he didn't really show any remorse for that. Um,
Well, I saw like some clip where a guy was talking like, why would you say that about why would you say those things? And he's like, "Well, I was drunk, and and I was just I wasn't really mad at the race thing. I was more mad that my daughter was getting involved with people, and it didn't
yeah,
matter what race." And he's like, "Why didn't you just say that?" you know?
yeah, you should, or maybe
Yeah,
just he just handled everything about that incorrectly.
yeah,
Um, I think that when you're that, I'm just speculating. I guess if you're that famous, like, and everybody you meet is in awe of you and is excited to see you, and nobody ever tells you no, ever.
yeah.
That's got to be a really weird situation for you mentally. How do you stay grounded like that? It's almost impossible.
especially if you never experience some stability because he was like out all the time. But
Yeah,
like
on the
I just
road.
remember, yeah, I remember when they brought him out well for what was it when wrestling started on Netflix
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
everybody was booing him and I was like, whoa.
That was
That was
his last appearance in wrestling.
did you watch it live when it happened? I watched it.
I don't know that I watched it live. I might have, but
Oh.
he got booed so bad. It
I
was
watched it live.
bad.
I watched it live, and there's a lot of people like, when Trump makes appearances, like, "Oh, he got booed so bad," and I listen, I'm like, you can't really tell, but that one, like, they were booing, like
Yeah.
you could tell, and someone mentioned it. Well, it is L.A. I'm like, that's true. L.A. would hate his guts,
Yeah, because it was like a blue
especially
state. Yeah.
especially after he supported Trump and stuff,
Yeah.
but he mentioned something very interesting on that. He's like, "It's all good." And I'm like, "That makes sense in that arena." Like, because if he was to go out there and be a bad guy, he'd draw in a huge crowd because everybody
Oh,
would hate his guts.
if he like all of a sudden like started talking negatively to the crowd and played that up, yeah. The problem
Yeah, play
is
that up, and then if he went out, he could go out in the ring with that. He would bring a huge crowd because
he he
people hate him so much.
he could. The problem is that you're totally correct that he would draw a huge crowd. In wrestling, though, they call that it's what you're describing is called heat. So you get heat from the audience. There's good heat where people want to see you get beat. They don't like your character. They want to see everybody beat you. So that's good heat. And then there's something called go home heat. And that kind of heat is when they're like, we literally hate you. We can't stand you. We don't want to see you at all because we don't. I I think that's almost close to what Hogan had. Like people were just so tired of how he treated everybody backstage and all the stuff he did.
So yeah, but do you? So there's the bad heat, huh?
There's
Like,
go home heat is the bad heat.
tell, tell me more about that because I never heard of that.
So I mean, if the crowd really does not like you, like at all, they don't even want to see your face on the show. That you don't want that kind of heat. But if you have good heat,
What does that mean? They won't show up
and possibly, yeah,
because that's the
possibly,
only thing that would be bad about it if they don't show
but
up.
that's true. But if you show up on the show and they want to see you get beat, and they're gonna pay to see you beat me, that's good heat because now you're making money.
Yeah,
So I guess you could make money off of go home heat too, especially if it was Hulk Hogan, because
yeah,
people literally hated him
yeah.
at the end there. He was saved. He said he was.
Well, it was interesting because at the end, he said he was Christian the whole time, but he never really listened, and then he
Mhm.
started listening, and his new girlfriend or whatever got him to go into church and all that, and he did have a different demeanor at the end. Like
He
he was
was more mellow for sure.
he wasn't acting like he used to.
I
Yeah,
I was the thing with Hogan that always kind of like confused me. He would talk. He went on like some Bible TV shows and he'd talk about how he was saved and stuff, and that's one thing that's awesome. And then the very next week he'd be selling his beer, like his Hulk Hogan beer and stuff. And I was just like, what? Not that there's anything wrong with beer. If you can drink one or two and be normal, that's fine. But like, it just seemed like if you're trying to do that, say that one thing and then do another thing, it just looked like a hypocrite to me. Seemed like a lot of things Hulk Hogan did was hypocritical.
I mean, no one's perfect, but like,
No, not at all.
monks used to brew beer too. So
Are you get? What if there's some monks in the chat? Are you really saying that?
I'm
Are you
just
crazy? All the monks are going to drop out of the Good Times reunion chat now. You blew it.
well, I don't know why that would be offensive. It's a fact.
The monks are out on the mountain right now. They're like, they see what you said. And they're like, Ryan, what the hell? As they're drinking their beer they brewed.
They brewed beer. Hulk Hogan brewing beer just like the monks.
Can I tell you a story? And you might even remember this. Do you remember at junior high when we brewed root beer in the class?
No,
Okay, we
no.
brewed root. We were like studying ancient Egypt in like seventh grade, maybe, and we actually made root beer with like sassafras and all or whatever that goes in root beer. And I just remember thinking like this is like really close to making alcohol at junior high.
Training us young,
Yeah, the
you know.
'90s were wild, man. Holy moly, the Wild West. Did you watch that? Did you watch that Vince? You said you saw the Vince McMahon documentary. Did you watch that, or were you following his court stuff?
I watched the Vince McMahon documentary. It was pretty wild that like at the end, like it was so recent because he got kicked out and well he didn't got he chose to leave and
Yeah,
sell everything and all that.
worst thing
But
that ever happened to WWE was him selling that company. I can't stand it right now.
really,
Yes, they had their WWE. He sold to UFC, which is TKO. So TKO is the company that owns WWE and UFC under one company. So the
do you
stock.
know?
Oh, go ahead.
Do you know there's an even larger company that owns TKO?
Who?
It's some hedge fund.
They own TKO. So do they own other companies too?
Yeah, they own like a lot of stuff.
Is it Tesla?
No, no, no. It's some crazy hedge fund that owns all this stuff. But it's
Okay.
weird how like I'll own and then like goes down and but okay, so what are your thoughts on this? Like he was a pretty toxic guy. He
Yeah,
said
to say the least. Yeah.
he had some
Yeah.
pretty wild stuff in the what that era where
The
it,
80s.
like yeah, well, no, it was early '90s, I think, right? With
Oh, the Attitude
like
Era. Is that what you're talking? The Attitude
yeah,
Era.
that was in okay. Um, yeah, just from the clips I saw, I was like, holy crap! Like,
They weren't even having like normal wrestling matches. They were having like like matches where you're hitting each other with like garbage can lids and like cheese graters and then like brawn painting matches and stuff is crazy.
well, and the clips they showed of like him like cheating on his wife was his wife there. Like, I was like, wow, he's like just trying to go like as extreme as possible.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
but like so it's less toxic now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like
So
for as like for a workplace, it's got
yeah.
to be less toxic, but as far as like a place where they're putting out like consistent good TV, it's not even close. Like the back. Okay, so here's a perfect example. Wrestling back then, the ring, the WWE ring never had sponsorships on the mat because it was considered sacred. Like they would not put sponsorships on that. And now, if you watch wrestling, it looks like a NASCAR car on the mat. Sponsors all over the place. um, TKO was trying to make as much money as possible out of WWE because they owed a bunch of money from UFC. So they're trying to use the WWE as their piggy bank to pay off debt from the UFC. So they're overcharging fans for events. They're putting out matches that don't make any sense. It recently came out that the guys who write WWE admitted to using AI to write some of the storylines. So they just
Wow.
like if me and you were running WWE, we just type in Chat GPT, who's winning this match tonight, sort of
What?
thing.
There,
They never did that before. That never happened.
there. So there was this guy. I don't know if he's retired or not, but like he must be because I heard him say like you can make the crowd believe anything if you just have them repeat it. Like, you know, do you know what I'm saying? Like if you just repeat
I
the same
don't
thing.
I don't know who that is who said it, but I definitely have heard something like that. Like you can make the crowd
Yeah. Yeah.
get behind you or hate
It,
you
it
or
it sounds like what happened is the old guard that knew what they were doing were kind of pushed out, and then the new people that came in, they're just they don't. There's like some tricks and stuff that they weren't shown,
There,
like on how
it's
to do it.
yeah, you're probably right. I think the people from the old guard are, some of them are still there. Triple H is there. A guy named Bruce Pritchard is there. There's some guys still there. But when Vince left, he took Kevin Pritchard, who was his TV producer for like 30 years. I think his name was Kevin. I can't remember what his name was. I totally butchered that. Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn. Kevin Dunn was the producer for all the live events and TV shows. So he retired when Vince was just about ready to leave. So Dunn was gone, Vince was gone. TKO takes over. They put Triple H in charge of creative, and then now they're doing creative stuff with AI storylines, which is crazy. Um, I don't even know, man. So yeah, I think you're right. I think that they needed somebody to they needed somebody to be the head of the ship and not bother them while they were doing
Uh,
it.
yeah. Well, what?
They're micromanaging.
Yeah, yeah, you're right, and that's not what they did at all in the old days. They just go out there and fight.
Vince was in charge of everything back in the
Go.
day. So if you
Yeah.
wanted to run anything through Vince, if you wanted to do anything, I had to go through Vince. But Vince knew a good idea when he heard one, and he knew when to scale something back or when to add something to it. That was like his gift.
Uh, yeah, because he
Uh,
was out there a lot. You could feel the crowd. I saw this one story where a guy go out there and pretend to be the Rock, and he's like, "Oh, they're gonna believe you that you're the Rock." He's like, "What? You're crazy," and they did.
he he wanted to have a storyline one time where he was like going to have a romance with his daughter, and his daughter Stephanie is like, "No, absolutely not. We're not. Are you kidding me? There's no way on earth that we're doing
He's
that."
crazy.
And he was like mad at her. That's
He was a talk.
ridiculous.
He's a
That's
he's a
he
Well, it sounded like he had an idea of how other people thought and what their competition was, what buttons he could push,
yeah
and he used that against themselves. Like he would like, oh, this person's gonna come after you, and then he knew they were competitive, and they'd be
yeah
like,
yeah
oh,
yeah.
I better do this.
He would
It's just
put people against each other. He would do stuff to drum up controversy between his own guys to get like a better product in the ring. So he would like stir the pot on purpose. That's like working somewhere and the manager or the general manager is like, "Hey Ryan, did you see what so and so said about you? You better see what's up in the coffee room later on." You know what I mean? It's like that's not. I don't know.
that. It's kind of like it's a narcissistic personality where you're just thinking like you're not really you're more thinking about yourself and how you can use people. So it's just
You're manipulating the pieces around you for
yeah,
your
yeah,
own
yeah,
selfish gain.
yeah. That's what he was doing, and that's why that personality is pretty successful in a lot of
Business.
times in business and stuff like what Vince was doing, because that's just how they think. I mean, it's toxic, but it's just kind of
How
how
can
it rolls.
you how can you do that though and go to sleep at night and like
They don't think about it like it's just the way they are.
I
So
I don't know, man. I don't think I could look myself in the mirror after doing, but like Vince, that
there's
what we
no
were gonna
there's, that is not in their head. They don't.
okay.
Yeah,
We
it's
were
just
gonna
not.
talk about Vince's like his suit because it just got like it's no longer in the court system. It's actually like private. So they're like
Is it still going on?
I think it is still going on. I think the Janelle Grant stuff is still going on. They're like doing stuff privately. So it's like whenever something like that happens, it's always like, okay, he did all these terrible things to you and he allegedly trafficked you and he did all these things, but it's like, but you don't care because he's going to pay you? Like, you that all that stuff is fine as long as he cuts you a big paycheck.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Like,
I'm, but for real, but like, did you hear? It just ruins the credibility for me.
what else are they gonna do? So the argument is, like, so for like usually there's like okay, you can fix, like, if I broke my shoulder, someone broke it, I can sue, and it's whatever the cost is to fix the shoulder. But like, if there's usually like almost no cap on pain and suffering, so if or like mental anguish,
Yeah.
and, and so that's why that gets into the like millions and stuff. Like, I suffered, I couldn't go to work, and this anguish, like, it will be with me the rest of my life, and I could never get it back, and it's hurting.
Yeah.
That's why it goes so high. But I it's
Well,
like it's not really. I don't. I mean, it's like, how is putting like dollar bills or $100 bills, rubbing it on your head and stuff. That's not gonna. It's not gonna
he
really help you. You're
well,
like,
no, you're still gonna at the end of the day, if like he did the things that she says he did, like basically controlled her and like tried to move her around to other guys he knew and like did some like apparently like going to the bathroom on her or something. Like there was a bunch of weird stuff. If you do have that kind of a settlement, it's like, yeah, at the end of the day, it's like, this is awesome that I never have to work again. But she's gonna have this like PTSD for the rest of her life. And how would you? And here's a question: how would you look yourself in the mirror from that perspective and be like, oh wow, I have this really nice car and nice house, but you know how you got it? Like, how would that? That's a weird deal too, right?
no, they don't think. Well, I'm not. I have never. I don't know, but I would assume they would be like, if they got a good amount, they would at
Hmm.
least feel like, well, he got what he deserved, and I got compensated for it.
You're like, hey, when I ask you that question, you're like, I kind of like to try to have that much money and see what happens. That's what I thought you were gonna say. I've never had that. I never had
What?
that kind of money. I'd like to try that out.
So no, I'm like, what was going into my mind is like, all right, how do I say this? And like, how do like, I could think of some funny things, but it's pretty serious. It's a pretty serious thing,
Question,
and
yeah, talking about a young lady being trafficked.
yeah, it's pretty brutal and pretty
Yeah.
traumatic. So how do I how do I say this? That's what was going on in my head. But
He so Vince is like, if that case, since it got dismissed legally, I think that there's a chance that he could show back up on WWE as a character
if they crash hard enough, they'll get desperate enough, and
and bring him back.
they could. That might be a thing, because cancel culture is not what it was.
No,
Like,
it's for sure not. It's not.
'cause
Like,
I've been seeing comedians, and I'm like, that would not have flown in cancel culture era. Like, I'm like, what you just said,
yeah,
So I can see comedians, like, they're showing them on social media and all that. So that's good. Like, I mean, a lot of what they say is kind of bad, but like, it's nice to have free speech, and that they're able to say things that maybe people don't like, but they're able to say it.
yeah,
Um,
oh yeah,
so yeah, I mean, it might change. It's kind of weird though, because everybody was just like, "You can't say that," and you get screamed at, and like they'll call you and get you kicked out of your job and whatever. I'm like,
well, when the cancel culture thing happened, like I just remember like all these celebrities were like every day there was a new celebrity that was like in hot water, so or a movie producer or
well,
whatever.
I remember a post you made, and it was just it wasn't even, it was a neutral post, but there was something going on that, like, out there, that was like really big news, and someone told you, read the room. And
Oh
I was like, he's not even he's he's not even
yeah,
saying, just trying to be neutral. And since he's not actually going for the thing, like,
yeah,
you're canceled.
yeah. Twitter or X. I actually just deleted my Twitter account like earlier this week. It just got so like Twitter specifically, like if you said anything that was even remotely not on somebody's like agenda, you would be torn apart.
So that changed not too long after Elon bought it, from what I noticed. Because a lot of those people left and went to like Blue Sky and uh, other places. And,
Yeah.
and actually, it was funny because Mark Cuban, he's like, I was watching his account. And he's like, "Well, I'm leaving. I'm going to Blue Sky," and they're like, "Well, good luck over there with that." And he comes back later and he's like, "They don't listen to anything, and they're really toxic over there." I'm
Can I
like,
come back?
he just comes back and starts posting on X again. X is like
I just remember. Oh, what about X? Go ahead.
it's like a what it's so like for people that aren't famous, it's not really that great. But like for it's a really neat way to see like instant news or like if someone's famous and they say stuff because it posts to everybody and everybody can see it, like
Yeah.
that type of thing. But like for people that like it's just kind of a waste to like be scrolling unless you want to be like informed of like events that are happening right now, you know.
I used X for a long time to help like come up with ideas for YouTube stuff like that and Instagram. But like anything like that, it just spirals to where you're just like scrolling. You'll end up losing a couple hours, and you're like, "Why did literally did nothing for the last 2 hours? I was
I
just
do that.
looking at Twitter and Instagram."
I do that on Instagram and TikTok. I just flipped it and
Yeah,
yeah, you don't even realize how many hours and hours. I don't even want
just,
to know.
no, of just wasted time, wasted time. Well, Ryan, we got another like 4 minutes together before it's me and Drew. You got anything you want to talk about before we? I'm grabbing some. I'm grabbing a taco.
Nice. Well, no, it was good. It was good hanging out. If you want to do it again, let me
Well,
know.
don't leave. No, I absolutely do, but don't leave yet.
Well, oh, he's
Don't
gonna
leave
join.
till Drew shows up.
Oh, so do you want me
Hold
to
on. Yeah,
leave when he's on, or do you want like what?
he'll.
what?
I think maybe in like 3 or 4 minutes, because then he'll have to hit the link. I think I can only do one person at a time. If I could do more than one, I'd have both of you
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there's a little delay too, or something when you talk. So maybe that's
every time. Every time.
yeah.
Oh
It,
no.
well, maybe it'll fix when you drop me.
You're like maybe it'll fix when you drop me again, you freaking jerk.
Yeah, jackass.
You jackass. Heavy, heavy. I'd like to know what heavy feels like, you insensitive prick.
We watched that movie.
Do you know?
My wife and I
Do you know
watched
what I'm
that.
talking about?
Well, I don't know. Happy Gilmore. I was just that's what I was quoting, but we.
I was quoting something about Mary.
Oh,
Um,
oh, that was been a
this
while.
guy wants this guy wants Ben Stiller to move a piano for somebody, and he's got this piano strapped to his back, and he's like, just a little. It's just like it's pretty heavy, and the guy he's moving the piano for is in a wheelchair, and the guy's like, heavy, heavy. What I wouldn't give to know what heavy feels like, you insensitive prick.
It's been a while since I see that movie, but yeah, we watched Happy Gilmore the other day. It was a while ago, but like we laughed so hard, so
The first
hard.
movie or the
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 first
old
one,
one?
I couldn't get through the second one, but the first one at the at the time he met with that other golfer, and he
Shooter
goes
McGavin?
he goes not Shooter McGavin, the one that's training him. Um,
Oh, Chubbs.
yeah,
Chubbs.
what was it? It was like he was like saying, "Oh man," and then shoot, they
I know. Hey, I bet you I know what you're. I bet you I know what the joke is. Can I tell it?
go, go ahead.
Chubbs. Chubbs has one hand, and it's a wooden hand, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you're a pretty big guy," and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You play football?" And he's like, "No, my mom wouldn't sign the permission slip. Said it was too dangerous." And then Happy Gilmore shakes his wooden fake hand. He's like, "Good call."
no, it wasn't that one. It was when before he even knew he had that. So it was like he was like, oh man, I tried and I did okay in the golfing and all that, and it was just rough, and I got out, and they were kind of rough on me, and he's like, oh man, is it because you're black? He's like, no, damn
Oh,
alligator.
he's all hell no. Oh, oh, he said, yeah, no, he said I couldn't. They wouldn't let me on the PGA. Then he's like, oh, why? Is it because you're black? And he's all, hell no, it's because a damn alligator bit my hand off.
I laughed so hard. I forgot about that, like all those jokes, but it was a good movie. It's a good movie.
Dude, Adam Sandler, like when we were younger, the Waterboy, Big
Oh,
Daddy, Happy Gilmore, Wedding Singer, that was like maybe the greatest four movie run ever, except for Jim Carrey with like Dumb and Dumber and Ace Ventura and like
oh, they were
uh
good. Yeah.
freaking Liar Liar,
Yep.
The Mask.
Yeah, I didn't want. I don't think I've ever seen The Mask, but that Dumb and Dumber is pretty good too.
Remember in Dumb and Dumber when they like used the money in the briefcase and the guy wanted the money back and Jim Carrey's like, hey, there's a bunch of IOUs in there. It's not money, but it's as good as cash. See that one right there? That's a Ferrari. $500,000. You might want to hold on to that one.
I like some of the. I mean, it's filled with stuff like that. There's like they're like, no, idiot! You realize what you've done? The city is that way.
The
Man,
Swedish bikini team.
two lucky guys.
Yeah. Man, some guys have all the luck.
It was full of stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the funny. Dumb and Dumber is like one of the funniest movies. I remember that movie coming out when we were like in grade school, and everybody was quoting that movie on the playground. Like everybody was quoting that damn movie.
Well, it is
Hey,
it's quotable.
stop! I'm a limo driver. Like he's a doctor or something. He gets home. He gets home. Gets home, sets his briefcase on the table. He's all fell off the jetway again.
Oh, you're from Austria. A little shrimp on the party.
What about when he uses the bathroom and she's like, "Hey, don't go number 2 in there because the bathroom's broke," and he's
I
just
mean,
like having
this is so,
the worst
so
bowel movement of all time.
it's, I mean, that's partly her fault for not saying it earlier, but
Yeah, well, that's true. What about when they're like being playful? They're going like skiing, and she like kind
oh,
of shoves him, and then he totally misreads it and like tackles her, and like tries to actually fight her.
oh my goodness.
That's pretty good.
I like the part where where they're like, so what are my chances?
Yeah, I'd say about 1 in a million. About 1 in a million. What does he say, Ryan?
So you're saying there's a chance? I say that
Remember that?
every time I buy a lottery ticket.
We one of the first Good Times thumbnails I ever made was us as Dumb and Dumber. Do you remember that? Where I'm like rolling up in a limo. I'm sticking my head out of the limo to pick you up.
You, you had some really good thumbnails.
We did do some good thumbnails.
What
Do
I
you
re-
remember when we were talking on
the one I
what?
remember the most is the Tiger King one.
Oh my gosh. What you know what one I remember the most where I laughed because you laughed so hard? was the funnest time I ever had on an episode of Good Times was when we were talking about Little House on the Prairie, and I was talking about how soft you are or something, and I was like, I can't remember what it was. What was I said?
Like, I was like, you're like, look, I'm your dad, Ryan. I'm your dad. Oh man, I don't know if my son's gonna survive. He's such a pussy.
Can't handle no electricity. Doesn't chop wood. Doesn't do anything here in the prairie because I think he might die because my son's a pussy. And then I would put out that thumbnail where like we're on the Little House on the Prairie TV set. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was.
That was
They're all pretty. You got some really good ones.
what about the Good Times episode where me and you were talking about the grade school sleepover and I like the teacher, like I can't remember what it was. I show up to this bang. So when we were kids, guys, you would go to a sleepover at the school. Like you'd go to like at our elementary school, you'd go there and stay the night with all your friends. And I remember going to the sleepover and I talked to one of the teachers who was a chaperone, and I was like, "Listen, um, I'm not here to learn anything. I'm not here to do anything school related. If you try to do anything like that, I'm gone. Like I'm here to have fun." Like I remember talking to this teacher, like, "You try to teach me anything, I'm out of here. You say anything that's school related, I'm
I don't. I
gone."
don't, I don't remember that. It's you saying that. I remember Bob and Dave.
Bob and Dave, where is Dave? Where's our number one fan?
Oh, him. No, I was talking about Bob and Dave that went to space, and they were on the construction crew, and they,
Oh my god! Oh, for SpaceX,
yeah, yeah, they were at every incident.
Bob and Dave. Something happened on the job site. Don't really have any evidence that it's you guys, but safe to say it is you two idiots. Get over here. When Ryan and I worked together, Ryan and I used to work together at his grandpa's glass shop, and Ryan was like 20. I was like 21, maybe. We might have both been 21. I don't know. Um, Ryan would like we'd be working at this glass shop doing real work, and Ryan out of nowhere would start to pretend like he had the force, and I would like drop whatever I was doing at work to pretend like he was force choking me. And we did that every day, 5 days a week, all month. Every month we worked there together. If he started force choking me, I would sell it 100%.
The
Can you
ultimate
imagine?
no one could beat.
Yeah, you'd be like, Jedi block, Jedi block, Jedi blast. Do you remember when I asked you about you could be a millionaire, but you'd have to wear a potato sack? I was like,
Vaguely.
here's the deal. Here's the deal. You're a multimillionaire. You're completely well off. All your bills are paid, but the only thing you can wear is a potato sack.
What did I say? I don't think I do it.
Dude, can you imagine? Like, it's like, oh man, we got a lot of heavy hitters here tonight at this like millionaires ball. Like, oh man, there's that son of a bitch riding in that potato bag again. You in your closet, you're on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. You've got like everything you could possibly want as a millionaire, billionaire. They go into your closet to see what you're wearing. It's just all bags of potato, like empty potato sacks.
You got to do what you got to do.
Hey, this money's not going to make itself. I'm sorry, guys, if this makes you uncomfortable. I'm sorry that this russet potato sack is see through on the butter part. apologize. Sorry. It's the deal they gave me. I'm sorry. Oh man, here comes Ryan in his brand new Lambo. We'll see what he's wearing tonight. Freaking Lambo door. Come out in a freaking potato sack. You have to wear the potato sack, but you can wear like nice shoes, nice gloves, nice sunglasses, good hat. But you have your shirt and pants are the potato sack. But you're a billionaire
A billionaire. Okay, well,
with a B, my friend, with a B.
I don't know. I might do it for a billion.
I'd wear a potato sack every day for $1 billion. Absolutely. The only problem would be when it's hot, potato sack, you'd be almost be like sweating, like you're losing weight for wrestling, right?
That $1 billion, you can have a guy follow you around with an air conditioner.
Or you could get one of those Nike outfits that pulse water underneath your potato sack. Or if it's cold, the problem with that is if you're cold, man, you could pull the Mike move. You remember when Mike put on that full wetsuit when the girls came over? Do you remember that?
Don't. I don't know if I. Are
We
you
were
sure
in
I was?
high school. If you weren't there, you were coming over later. So Katie Russo and the girls came over to Mackenzie's, and Mike found this wetsuit in Mackenzie's like closet, and he decided he was going to impress them by putting on this full wetsuit at nighttime, like on a gravel road by a house. He had it was ridiculous.
No, I was. I
You
wasn't
could put a
there.
wetsuit. Okay.
No.
All right. Well, Ryan, I had a blast tonight.
You guys ditched me, and now I see what type of friend you were. You didn't invite me to these things. You know?
You didn't invite me to the great wetsuit outfit wearing time, you dick.
Yeah. Come on now.
That potato sack thing is hilarious. Ryan, I seriously appreciate you doing everything you've done for me today. I mean that big time.
Oh, you're very welcome. So
Yeah, I love you, and we'll definitely do this again soon.
yeah, I love you too. No homo.
Yeah. So you're saying there's a chance. All right. All right, Ryan. Thank you so much for doing the hangout with me. And this is the first time we've done it since 2021, and there's definitely going to be a lot more. This was fun.
Good. Good. I'm
All
looking
right,
forward to
man.
it. How do
Tell
I
Diana I say
exit?
hello. I think you just hit. Maybe just hit X.
Oh, great. All right. I'll see you later.
Later, later,
Oh,
brother.
or do you want to kick? Does it kick me?
I don't know. Let me see. I don't
All right.
think I
Well,
can.
okay. Well, then I'll just leave.
Did you? No, no, don't do that. Hit the X.
Okay. Bye.
Later, man. All right, Drew, we're ready, buddy. Hit that link. Nicole, that was fun, huh? That was funny. That potato sack thing we did on the Good Times show, where it was like, okay, you're a multimillionaire, you can do anything you want, but have all the money in the world, any food you want, anything you want to do, but you have to wear a potato sack every day as your clothing. Those either ors or would you do that are so funny. Waiting on our boy Drew Bird, the shoe doctor. Anybody in the chat? You guys having a good time? We having some fun, huh? Just waiting on our next guest. I'm gonna text him real quick, so I might be gone for a second. Hold. So who's all in the chat right now? What are we up to? What did everybody do on this fine Tuesday? It was still like 80 something degrees today and it's supposed to be 80 tomorrow and 80 the next day. I've had enough heat for the rest of my life. Thank you very much. I'm seriously sick of this heat. I cannot wait till it's breezy and windy and rainy. I can't even remember the last time it rained. I think it rained one time, possibly last month. Me too. It has been too hot. It's been way too hot. I feel sorry for the cats outside. Just hiding under cars constantly and just trying not to be cooked alive out there. It's awful. Let's see what's going on real quick. Sean, you still in the chat, brother? Johnny Utah, you there, dog? Big Mac attack. Hulk Hogan goes over in this match. Let's have a watch along while we wait for Drew. This is on 1990 WWE's Vault. So this is like an extremely popular YouTube channel. WWE like releases never before seen stuff. Drewbert,
Hey, Alex.
what's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
What's going
How you
on?
doing?
I'm actually really good. Yeah, I'm good.
That's great, man. I'm glad to hear that.
Did you catch any of me and Ryan talking?
No, I didn't get a chance to catch you guys. What'd you guys talk about?
We hadn't talked on camera since 2021 when we had our podcast.
Okay.
Um, we had a podcast called Good Times with Alex and Ryan, and we had a lot of fun. I actually ended up getting frustrated because we weren't like getting the numbers I wanted, and I wanted to make more money or whatever. I was being just like a impatient chump, and I
Mhm.
thought that I don't know I you always I went one way for years, and then with another host, and it felt good to be with Ryan. Ryan, I was a really good feel. We were laughing really hard. It was fun.
That's great, man.
What'd you do today? What's going on?
I've been actually helping out my friend babysit his daughter because he and his wife are just the work schedule is crazy,
Yeah.
and like the daycare that they had her in, like it shut down and they didn't know what to do and they don't have any family to keep her.
Okay.
And so he reached out to me and was just like, look, dude, I trust you. Can you keep her? So a lot of the days I have, at least through the week, I've had to kind of keep her and keep an eye on her. And then if Luke is here, they just play and bug each other
Yeah.
for a little bit. So I was busy partially with that, and with MS, I've got to follow up with a lot of doctor's appointments. So I was on the phone a lot, getting
Yeah.
things set up, paperwork. I've got to get in place and all that business that comes along with that. And I feel like there's like other million things. I'm always
Yeah. Doing something.
always going. I'm always going with something. I may be medically retired, but I am not eating bonbons and watching Days of Our Lives with a bathrobe on. I'm always booked. I'm at physical therapy, different things, and then
Yeah.
usually with physical therapy, there's like something else that day, and then something else, and then I've got to go to Luke's school for something.
Mm.
And then back home and handling stuff, and somebody at church may need something or get with me on something, and then I'm back over there. So yeah, there's always something going on, buddy. Pretty much.
Do you have so do you split duties with Luke? Do you get him part-time or do you have him all the time?
I have a 50-50 split with him.
Okay.
So she has him most of the time. He lives with her, and then I get, a 50-50 split. Um, Especially during the summer, like I get a lot of time in with him. He's starting school first day tomorrow. So now the schedule's different. So like I'll see him for like so many hours throughout the week, and then I'll see him a whole bunch of time more on the weekend when it's school time.
Okay.
So it's a lot like that. Yeah, so it's kind of sliced up that way, which is you know, it is what it is, I guess. But of course he doesn't like it, and I don't blame him at all. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like it either, but
Yeah.
so we just try to work things out, that way, and in between workouts and trying to keep everything balanced with that and clean eating because that's all I do. I don't step out because people are like, "Do you have like cheat days or something?" It's like, not really,
Yeah.
not too much.
Because you're
And
trying to keep your like
Mhm.
system in top running shape.
Yeah, so it's like I like apple pie as an example, but I might have it in a year, maybe like 2 to 3 times in a year.
Yeah, because
That's it.
it's just so full of sugar and stuff.
The sugar doesn't really bug me too much because protein powder's filled with sugar. It's kind of it's just
Yeah.
it kind of equals out in that way. But just to be safe, I kind of just do things. I do like donuts. I like donuts a lot,
Me too.
but I only have them here and there, and I only have a very little amount. Just to make sure that everything balances out. So, pretty much I'm eating clean like 24/7, and that's you spend a lot of time kind of going with different protein powders. Right now, I have the Flintstones Fruity Pebble protein powder by Isogenics.
Is that pretty good? That sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, it's great. It tastes really good, but it sits in your body really quick. It hits the points really quick, so you end up like getting the results like really fast, and it tastes pretty good. So you kind of get that. Yeah, it's great. I get like a giant canister of it on Amazon. Like it's like probably like $100 to get the big one. If you
Yeah,
get a smaller one, it's like 30 something, 40 something, depending on what size. So
dude.
yeah, I Mhm.
When we were kids, like fruity pebbles were such a like it was like a payday item. Like fruity pebble, like mom would get us like I want to say like we'd get a box of fruity pebbles and a box of cocoa pebbles on
uh,
payday. And I'm telling my brother and I would have that eaten in like it had to have been like a day or two. Just eat it every in between meals, breakfast, lunch, have another bowl of cereal, go to dinner. Because when you're a young kid, and you probably know this with your son, like you can just eat and eat and eat. It's insane.
yeah, yeah, that's true, man. That was kind of the thing about it. When you have those moments. So I'm like, with my household, there was a bunch of us, so food was always super stacked at my house. Had to be because there were so many of us.
How many people
Yeah.
were in the house?
Uh, for the most part, there's five, and then I had a foster. So if you count my two foster brothers, if they were kicking it around there, and you looking at about 7 kids and 2 adults.
7 kids.
And 2 adults, yeah.
Did
If you
you
count the foster kids, yeah.
did you guys get along with all the foster kids, or what was the situation with that? Because I listen, I had a friend
Mhm.
whose family was a foster home. And I made a lot of friends with kids that came in and out. Some would be there a lot longer than others. Some would be there a very short time. I always had somebody to play with, but I do remember it was always kind of a weird situation because some kids would be totally adjusted, and some would be coming out of like some serious stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, like, and even as a kid, I
Um,
noticed that.
they were much older than me. But yeah, I got along with them. There was another one that was briefly there with us, and I couldn't stand him. And yeah, we had some bad blood. That'll probably be for life.
How
Um,
old were you guys when that was going on?
I was about 8.
8 years old, and you're still beefing?
I'm not letting that dude, like, no, I can't. I was like, I mean, we're not beefing. I don't know where he's at, but because of what he did, I'm just like, nah. I mean, I've forgiven it, whatever, but I just, like, it's not someone I would want to be around, if I'm making sense.
Yeah. Did he have anything to do with like, because if you guys were beefing when you were 8, and that photo of you was taken when you were 7, was he around to like trying to maybe sabotage that photo of you like at J.C. Penney's, or is that the deal or what?
No, that was in Long Beach on the Queen Mary where they did that photo. And he was not around at that time when that was going. He wouldn't be around for another couple of years after that picture. Well, that's when we moved up to the high desert area of Southern California. We left the LA, Long Beach, Orange County area to go up to the high desert, the desert areas of California. That's where
Okay.
he came in. And yeah, it's just one of those things like when we were kids, yeah, we didn't see eye to eye. And I'm not holding on to anything like that, but some stuff went down where I'm just like, yeah, I forgive him, but I wouldn't want to be around him.
No, there's a difference. You don't have to explain that to me, dude. You can forgive somebody, but that doesn't mean you have to invite them back into your life. You can
Yeah,
understand, like, you don't have to hold a grudge, but you don't have to
right.
like actively hang out with them. I totally get that. Um,
Yeah, I'll put it to you like this, Alex. It started with an M. That's what happened.
M
Think about that.
M. Um, I can't. I'm sorry, man. Like,
Really bad situations that start with an M. Think of Will Wheaton. Bad situation with an M. Think of
oh,
Corey Haim, Corey Feldman. Bad situations with an M.
okay, got you,
That's what happened.
got
So
you.
that's why. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not exactly trying to
Okay,
over the dude.
yeah.
So I'll leave
Um,
it there.
hey, so
Mhm.
Johnny Utah says, can you guys talk about love bombing? Have you done it, and has someone done it to you? Have you ever been love bombed, Drew?
Um, Gosh, that's still such a new weird term to me
Yeah,
because I was like, what the heck is love bombing? For what people say, if I got it right, it's like when somebody really turns up the attraction to really, not even the attraction, but they just hit you with like a million things
yeah,
of affection. And what I okay, this is how I feel about it. If somebody really likes you, they may come on a little strong in some way, but it's not like an unhealthy version of it. And that's where I kind of look at things because some people are like, oh, they love bomb me. It's like, well, break down what that is. They could just really like you and they just really want to show you and let you know that they're interested in you, to some
mhm,
levels. But like anything else, you could take things to a crazy level of stuff. But what I'm saying is, it's hard because when you get into a relationship and it's new and you do like somebody or you think you're going to like somebody, all those feelings kind of hit. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. You get Twitter
yeah,
pated, like you're excited to see them all the time. You want to like tell them about your day, and you want to find out what they're doing, and
yeah.
everything reminds you of them.
Yeah, you get it. It's like, so if that's considered love bombing, I'm kind of like, is that necessarily a bad thing? If that's what they're going into, and if that's what people are trying to say. Because you'll see where I'm going, Alex, because you and I are older. You know, it's kind of like this, like with modern society today, what you and I would be like, okay, that's kind of normal.
Yeah.
Society in some ways might go, well, showing a lot of affection and really being interested, that's love bombing, like today. But back in the day, that would have just been showing affection towards somebody.
Well, there was like, and Drew, like, I'm gonna kind of piggyback off you there. Like
Yeah,
back in the day, like the only way that because there was no, you couldn't meet a girl on the internet.
yeah,
There was the only dating sites they had were videotape, like VHS dating tapes. They'd have dating
yeah,
services. So like if Drew and I were looking for a female, we'd go down to this dating service and make a tape, and you'd basically just say, "My name's Alex. My name's Drew. This is what I like. These are my turn-ons. These are my turn-offs. This is where I work." And if somebody matched with you, according to the video dating service, that's you could meet a girl that way. But they also had the I think they had like the party line, like there was a
yeah,
phone number you could call where
yeah.
like yeah, you could meet the opposite sex that way. And I also remember you could like in the newspaper, you'd have like a desperately
To put
seeking
something, yeah,
Susan or like male 42 looking for a female, like whatever. So, but the internet now has changed the game because it's like you don't even have to have any swagger to like meet the opposite sex. You just have to drop into their DMs or whatever. And back in the day, you almost did have to love bomb people to like get their attention. I
yeah.
remember there was this girl, like I was 10. It was my very first date situation, just about. She took my hat at school and she said, "If you want your hat back, you need to go to the skating rink tonight." And I was like, "Why? Like why? What the hell is that?" But she took my hat, so I get my ass to the skating rink, and so we could couple skate. But I was like 10, so in a weird way, I feel like she might have been love bombing me a little bit. And then when I got there, she was like overly nice and really sweet and like definitely had my interest. I'll say that much. Never had I been more nervous about skating. I can tell you that. Because going to the skating rink to me, people are always like, "Oh yeah, go to the skating rink. I have all these great memories." Most of the memories I have of the skating rink were being able to do the limbo, make it to the top 50%, so I could get like an icy pop. I remember
Yeah.
that. Couple skating was a big deal. Like if you didn't get picked, you were kind of a chump. And I remember being nervous every time. And and here's the big one. This is the one I remember more than anything.
Okay.
If I had to pee, I remember you would have to keep your skates on. You couldn't really take them off. So you'd go into the bathroom, but normally when you pee, you have pretty sturdy footing. I just remember trying not to break my ass at the urinal when I was peeing in these skates. Do you remember doing that?
Yeah,
I'm
I
like
do.
trying to pee at the bathroom urinal on my skates.
I took the skates off. I put my shoes back on because the floor was extra slippery in the
Yeah.
bathroom.
Do you know
So
how
you're like,
disgusting, dude? You know how disgusting that is that us little kids were rolling around in piss and then going out to the carpet and the skating rink floor in those skates, those rentals?
oh my gosh, it was awful. I I don't have many. I went to the skating rink a lot, but it wasn't fun. Like as far as skating went,
Arcade. Did you go to the arcade part?
of course I did. I got a picture somewhere in the skating
Yeah.
rink arcade of me and my buddy David Castillo, my brother. I think it's like my 12th or 13th birthday. Because my parents like it was cheap to like, have a
Drop.
birthday party there.
Yeah,
So my
yeah,
parents
yeah.
they would just pick it. And I was like, I don't like skating. Like my parents like made me do it,
They're like,
as
your
a little
birthday is
kid.
at the skating rink again.
Yeah. And their dad bought me skates like in the 80s, and I was just like, I don't want to skate. And he like gave me skates, so I'm crying, I'm like 4 or 5 years old crying, holding on to the wall because
Yeah.
I don't want to be there. And he's like, ah, get your hand off the wall, go, and I'm just like, I don't want to do this. And I remember when I got older, like, 12 and 13 and stuff, my dad was like, well, you could go to the movies or you could go to the skating rink. And I was like, seriously? I'm going to the movies. Like,
Yeah,
I
are
don't
you
want to go down
kidding
that
me?
skater rink. I was
Like,
like,
are
I don't.
you kidding me?
Yeah, it
Um,
was just ridiculous.
They had at the arcade that we had at my skating rink. They had tell me if you remember this game because I don't remember the name of the game, but it like had it had a track ball, so it had a track ball, and
Yeah.
you're like a military, like you and your partner are military guys, and you're throwing grenades over the screen at the enemies with the trackball. Do you remember that
Oh,
game? POW, is that
it
what it was called? Or
it sounds familiar. It
I
sounds really, really familiar. Like it. It sounds like something I played because that sounds like it's around the time of Narc.
oh dude, you know the first time I ever saw Narc was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the movie. And I was like, what the hell is this? And my brother told me, he's like, yeah, that game's like not even allowed at our arcade. Like that game was considered like it was like one of the banned games for some reason. What was the deal with that?
I think because it was kind of like an early first person shooter kind of thing. I think there was some heat over that, and I think you like, gosh, what did you fight? I want to say it was like drug dealers or demons or something, and I think they took issue with that. Tipper Gore's people. Like I think it was underneath that Tipper Gore uh, group. Remember how she banned music and she
Yeah.
banned all kinds of stuff.
She was responsible for like the music getting like a parental advisory
The
warning.
advisor sticker, yeah,
And you know what
yeah,
that did, dude? You know what that sticker did, right?
made you want
It's
it more.
it made you want it more. Like if I remember my mom bought me and my brother the NWA Straight Outta Compton tape. But
Uh-huh.
it was edited, so it didn't have the parental advisory sticker on it. So like when I was a kid, probably like 10 or 11, riding my bicycle with my Walkman, I'm listening to Straight Outta Compton, and I memorized every song, every lyric edited. So when I got older and I heard the actual verses of it, I was like, this isn't the same album. What the hell is this? I was blown away, dude.
Yeah, it was interesting about that parental advisory thing because that was a pretty much no for me if my parents were there to get something. Because people ask me, well, did you listen to NWA or different stuff? And I was like, no. I was like, I was never a rap or hip hop guy, an R&B guy. I didn't listen to any of that. Like, I was a punk rock kid, and before that, it was just like classic rock, some alternative stuff, you know. That was pretty much like where I kind of hung out. I remember Silverchair?
Yeah, Silverchair was supposed to be like they considered him like he was like 14 years old or something like that. The lead
Yeah.
singer of Silverchair, they considered him to be like. I just remember all the girls at my junior high were like, "This is like the next Kurt Cobain. Like this is the next guy."
Yeah, and I remember they rode high. Frog Stump came out and they rode high, and then they had, I think it was Freak Show and maybe another album, if that, and then they like disappeared.
Yeah,
Like,
they kind of
you
aged
remember
out.
they just come, and I thought it was too soon. I thought it was way soon and way fast, but I was really into Silverchair at that time. And so I think did they have a parental advisory on Silverchair? They might have.
Hmm.
And I remember like that was like a no-go when I was at Best Buy with my mom. I was like, oh, Frog Stump.
My mom, when like around that same Tipper Gore era, it's so funny because like my brother and I watched everything, and it wasn't because of me. It was my brother loved hip hop and he loved that culture, and I just
Mhm.
remember we watched Juice with Tupac, the movie Juice. We watched Boys in the Hood, and we watched I can't Menace to Society. Maybe I can't remember which one it was. We used to watch a movie every day before school. So we get up at like 6:37. School started at like 8:30. We'd watch a whole movie before we went to school because we could walk to school in like 5 minutes. So like
Mhm.
we played these movies so often, Drew, that my mom just eventually broke them. She was just like, I don't need to see Ricky get shot while he's scratching a lottery ticket for the 100th time this week. Like she'd wake up every morning to Ricky, Ricky.
I still have not watched Boys from the Hood, Menace
What?
to Society, Juiced, or any of that stuff. I found out about that stuff later because I wasn't into that scene, you
We,
know?
I was forced to be in that scene.
See, that was the thing. I wasn't around it. Like, it was not on my list of things and an agenda. Like some of these guys, like from like the rap scene and stuff like that, like I didn't know who they were until
Okay.
many, many years down the road, like because somebody showed me something or whatever. But
Yeah.
I was like the kid in my neighborhood, like especially at that time in the 90s, like they were just like, oh man, this guy, he's like this surfer kid and he's not down for like the OPP thing and all this stuff like that. And I was just like, no, man, it's not my thing. So like when you went to kids' birthday parties, they would put on like all this rap and R&B stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would show up with like Money Talks when ACDC did Money Talks.
Oh man, that was a jam. That was a
Yeah.
jam, man. That has
I
one of the best guitar riffs ever.
yeah. Yeah. I brought that to my friend's birthday party and I was like, yeah, put this on. And they were like, okay. And they were like, heck is this? You know,
They're
because
like,
like everybody was into the rap thing, or the girls were listening to Paula Abdul. They were at the party. And yeah, I was outcasted, Alex. I was not a favorite when it came to that. I remember one time I had one of my friends I grew up with, Daniel, and he said, okay, this is the thing. You got to pick out one rapper. Go to MTV and pick out one rapper. I just want to see if you can even do it. And then we'll see where you're at. And I was just like, but I don't like rap. He's like, just pick one rapper, just one. So I said, okay. So I went home and I found the guy. And so I saw him the next day. I said, I got the guy for you. They said, who do you have? I've got Ski Low.
I like Skilo. I wish
And
I
they
was a
were
little
like,
bit taller. I wish I was
yeah,
taller.
because I thought he was ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I'll take that guy. You know, because everybody else was like, kill you, shoot you,
Yeah.
slap you, And so I was like, all right. And I took that and I was like, I got your guy. It's Skilo. I wish I was a little bit taller. And he was like, that is the most ridiculous whack rapper of all time. Like, you're supposed to pick like some serious, like grounded, like real rap, like not that silly stuff. They're like, oh man. So I got a lot of heat, growing up like forever because I was always like that. But I grew up, I went to school in Long Beach, elementary school.
Yeah.
I was used to like surf culture. Where I lived in Cerritos area of California, my neighbors were like surfers. They were from the Philippines. They were from Hawaii. They were like just really cool, but very diverse group of people,
Yeah.
because that's how LA is and stuff like that in Orange County and whatnot. So I was like drawn to that, and my older brother, whatever he was listening to, I would either like it or something around it. So like at the time, I think the first record, and I do mean record, is in vinyl. I know vinyl's the in thing, but when the original vinyl was going, my brother had a Smurf record player, and he would pull out the Smurf record player and he put on the Monkees. So I heard Davy Jones and the Bunch, do the Monkees first. So that was kind
Yeah.
of the first record. Yeah. And then
I
second, mhm.
Oh, go ahead. Go. I met Davy Jones at a
No
concert in Coos Bay.
way.
Yeah, I met Davy,
What?
and he was like, I would say one of the nicest guys ever. He was in a room filled with 60-year-old women. Okay, watching this concert. It was my friend Ryan and I, because the Monkeys, when Drew and I were kids, guys, they started replaying it on Nickelodeon in the
Yes,
'80s.
they did. Yes, they
So like,
did.
yeah, so like when I was
Here
watching the
we go.
Monkeys on Nickelodeon, they were really cool to me. So like that's one some of my first memories is watching the Monkeys. So anyway, Davy Jones specifically spoke to Ryan and I and said, "I want to say how cool it is that two guys your age are at my concert grooving." As that's all he said. It was really cool. And Davy Jones actually ended up passing away not shortly after that.
Yeah, I remember he died. I remember when he died, and it was kind of early on, and I was like, "Oh man!" But
Yeah,
once he died, the other guys started to die.
there's only one left now. Davey,
Yeah,
or not Davey,
Mickey
Mickey.
Dolan,
Mickey is
Mickey
the only
Dolan.
one still alive. Yeah, and
Yeah,
Mickey's like 80.
because it was, let's see, it was Davy Jones, Mickey Dolan,
Peter
uh,
Tork.
Peter Tork, and then Mike.
Yeah, Mike Nesmith, who's, by the way, whose mom invented liquid paper, and who I think Mike Nesmith was one of the people who started MTV.
Yeah, it sure was, and it's like they're all gone. Like once Davy died, like all of them just started, except for Mickey. He's the only one left,
Yep.
and that's got to be weird for him because like he's gonna walk on stage and like none of those guys are with him.
Yeah,
You know?
him and Davey and Peter toured a lot together. They could not get
Yes, they
Mike to
did.
come. They could not get Mike to come out and do anything because Mike was like a serious musician. He was a guitarist, like songwriter. He clashed a great deal with the record label who wanted to keep putting out that pre-produced like kind of bubblegum pop. They wouldn't even like let him play their own instruments. Peter Tork was also a really good musician. Um, he was really jaded about how the Monkeys thing went down. They could not get him for a long time.
Yeah, I remember Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix opened for the Monkees.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
knew that.
remember
I knew
that,
that.
and he was like, "What is this?" I'm opening for the Monkees. I was like, "That's insane." The greatest guitar player of all time that influenced and changed the world. You have him opening for the Monkees. That no
And Jimmy
disrespect to the Monkees, but I mean that's like having Led Zeppelin open up for you. It's the same thing.
and
You know,
Jimmy, like, didn't Jimmy play the guitar like upside down or backwards or something like that?
he played backwards, yeah, because he was left-handed.
That's
So, but
really
he could
interesting.
play it. He could play it. I mean, Jimmy could do anything with that guitar. That was the thing about him. He was a guitar extraordinaire. he could do he could do anything with it. And he died young too.
He
You
I was
know,
he died from like an overdose, like an accidental
Mhm.
overdose from like didn't it
Accidental.
seep
Yeah,
it like seeped through his clothing or something, right? Or
yeah. It
something?
was he basically they say he choked on his vomit. That's what they say. Like he was having a reaction to it and he like it wasn't either coming up and there was blocking or when he's throwing up there was a blockage of some sort and that's how they said that he died. But yeah, he died young. Jim Morrison died young. Janis Joplin died young, you know. John Lennon died fairly young,
John Lennon's death was like
the weirdest thing.
one of the weirdest things because he was like one of the last celebrity deaths that like before celebrities started hiding behind closed gates and like communities and stuff because he lived in a brownstone, didn't he?
Hmm.
So he's in New York or wherever, and you could see John Lennon just like walk out of his house like onto the street. You could see John Lennon if you were patient enough, walk like see him 2 3 times a day maybe. And one of the fans like took didn't he like what happened? Mark David Chapman like
Yeah.
he signed an autograph for that guy earlier in the day, and then Mark David Chapman ended up unaliving John Lennon later that night. And what was the reason that he did that? What was his
Yeah, you
logic?
know. I do know. He basically convinced himself that he was John Lennon and that the actual John Lennon was an imposter. So if he doesn't want to be an imposter, he's got to get rid of the imposter.
Oh my
So that's
god!
why he killed him. Yeah. It was a jacked up situation that happened to John Lennon the way that it did. It just some people, you know, just are just not stable people and that guy
Yeah,
was not, you know and we're a nation where we grew up with unfortunate assassinations. I mean, they don't really hit anymore like they used to, but if you think about it, like there was just a a season where it was nothing but assassinations.
Yeah,
You
they were
know,
happening. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, JFK, Robert Kennedy, John Lennon, freaking. That's just five off the top of my head.
yeah.
There was another around that same time, like in the '80s. She was an actress. She was like a television actress. And this is back in the day when you could like go to the post office and get anybody's address from the post office or the DMV. You could like go to the DMV and get anybody's address. So this guy who's stalking this girl who was in a TV show with the lady who starred with Robin Williams and Mork and Mindy.
Hmm.
There was like this young actress, and then there was the lady from Mork and Mindy. This guy who's obsessed with her goes to the DMV, gets her address. He knocks on the door. She comes out. She says hi or whatever, and he killed her in the hallway of her apartment building because the DMV gave her address out, and then they ended up changing the laws nationally that you can't. So basically, you could just dox anybody,
Yeah.
like anybody. You could be any. You could literally find any celebrity you wanted to if you paid like the $2 at the DMV to get their address.
That's what's insane about it. There's just some like not cool people out there that jack it up for everybody because like there's legitimately people like myself, yourself that would respect people, do their best to respect people and
Yeah,
and and find out that that's pretty cool and respect their boundaries, but at the same time, like hang out with them and all be a good time. But people went in and messed that stuff up, doing things like that because it became too common where people were doing wild stuff like that. So I was like, eh.
I never understood the like. Oh, she's famous, so like instead of wanting to date her, I want to like kill her. That doesn't make sense to me. I never understood that.
I don't either. And even though in investigations I studied a lot of that stuff, that was always a big mystery because there was that girl, uh, what was her name, on American Idol that got killed.
Yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about. She
Christina Grimmie. Yeah.
yeah, they at her concert and her brother tried to like save her and then like yeah, that was bad. She got like third place on American Idol or something or and she was like really active on social media. So like
Yeah.
she said where she was going to be so the bad guy showed up there. Bam Margera's parents were still listed in the white pages years after he became famous. There's some funny stories. I bet there is. Bam, Bam, damn
Those
it,
guys.
Bam.
Yeah. Those guys that did that show. Oh my gosh. I
Did you watch?
remember
You watch Jackass?
I saw a little bit of it in Tom Green when he started out, and I was like, a lot of friends were into it and all that stuff, and then you you look back at it and you're like, the heck is this? Like this is
Yeah,
awful. Like, how did people get obsessed with stupid TV? Like, because there's just guys doing ridiculous stuff and getting all this attention, you know,
the the
Johnny Knoxville and all those guys.
the part of the Jackass, one of the skits they did where like they had like less lethal rounds shot from a shotgun at them, so they were like beanbag rounds, but they
Uh-huh.
were still getting hit with these things with no clothes on. Um, have you seen those fired off ever? Less
Of
lethal
course.
rounds.
Of course I have.
And
Being
what's
in investigations, yeah, I've seen the rubber bullets, I've seen the bean bags, I've seen people get pepper sprayed, whole 9 yards.
rubber bullets? Those don't penetrate skin.
They leave a big welt.
I'm sh- yeah, I'm sure they do. Do they stop the person that's trying to get
Oh
away?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you'll feel it. That's for sure. If you get hit with one of those things, you will not want to be hit ever again. Trust me. That rubber bullet hits, you will not want to ever be in front of that thing again. That's for sure. The beanbags, yeah, they hurt too. A lot of that stuff really hurts because people think it's like because it's not a real bullet and it doesn't necessarily penetrate the skin, doesn't mean it won't bruise the heck out of you and it won't knock you out or knock you down if they hit you in the right spot.
I
Like
feel
you'll
like
still get the force of that.
Johnny says those things kill people all the time. I could imagine if they got hit like in the chest or like the throat or something, like their heart could stop from the impact. I bet.
You are correct. It can
I,
do that. That's why when they use them, you're supposed to only hit certain targeted areas, you know. But then
what
again,
what what are those areas that they want you to target?
legs, you know, maybe an arm if you can tag it. Certain areas of the back, depending on where it's at. You know, you want to avoid the throat, the face, uh, the groin because it might explode something there.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like that. You know, I would just avoid the chest altogether, chest, stomach. I'd avoid all that because with enough pressure there, things could happen.
For
So
sure.
they kind of just do it like that, and they hit people that way. But it's yeah, it's stuff you don't want to mess with. That's for sure. When a lot of the guys, what people, unless you know about the academy they pepper spray you. That's how they test it out. So they get your
Okay.
reaction on
Did
yeah.
you got pepper sprayed?
No,
Okay.
no, I didn't go to the academy, but I knew guys that did, and they got pepper sprayed, all of them. And it was like it was part of the thing. It was like you had to get sprayed in the face and you had to like sit there and kind of take it so you knew how it worked. And then because you were, the thing is outside of that too, when you use pepper spray, you never know if the wind's blowing. It might tag you,
That's
so
true.
you need to kind of like know what your reaction is to it. Because if you spray, the wind blows, it pops you back in the face. If you have a reaction of what you would do, you know what to do, as opposed to
Yeah.
just like panicking and losing it. So they had that, and then same thing with the taser.
You
Like,
did have to get tasered too?
oh yeah, they would walk up and they would go taser, taser, taser. The thing would come out, whoosh, and you'd see people, and they would just lock up and fall, and ooh, and
I bet.
because when the prongs are in you, you can keep hitting that electricity run.
Keep it
So,
going.
and you're just
Oh
like,
man.
like the whole time. So you would see a lot of people, but I remember officer I knew, she got tased. Was that her? Yeah, I think it was. And she got tased, and somehow because they say that the current from you could get to somebody else, the electrical
Well, yeah,
current.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, for sure. Because your body's like 90% water.
Yeah. So she had like her partner accidentally tased her, and like the person that they were trying to get was like trying to run, and she like grabbed him and pulled him in. So the shock before she locked up, the shock got the guy and
Yeah.
her. So then that way the guy couldn't run. And so people
That's
would do stuff like that. Yeah, it was crazy. You
hey,
know.
can you talked about Jackass. Did you remember when Ryan Dunn passed away?
I heard about that. Yeah.
He was the one who was driving his car like 120 miles per hour or whatever after drinking all that long.
He was the one that ate the disgusting stuff all the time.
He was the one who put the toy car up his rear end in the movie, and he went to get an X-ray, and the doctor's like, "Hey, you got a toy car up there," and he's like, "I do," and the doctor's like, "You do." He's all, "This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go. You tell nobody." Like he's telling him how to. It's so funny. They're filming it, and Ryan Dunn's like, he knows he put it up there because the whole gag is he wants to get the doctor's reaction. So funny, man. He's like,
That's
"Well, I don't know how that car got up there," and he's like, "No, you do know." The doctor's like, "You know, trust me, you know."
Let's see. Johnny asked they can break ribs and sternum, yeah. And that's what I was saying, like the whole front area, like, is a no-go if you hit with rubber bullets or beanbag. You want the back, certain area, you want the back of the legs, maybe like a hand, maybe arm area. You want to avoid those ones. That's very, very true. You don't want to do that. Like that stuff's stronger than what you think. That's what everybody doesn't realize. Like when you get hit with that stuff, like it is not pleasant.
I bet,
Yeah,
dude. I was
it
talking to
hurts.
Ryan. I was talking to Ryan earlier before you popped on. We were talking about Vince McMahon and we were talking about Hogan, the documentaries on Netflix.
Uh
And
huh.
I was explaining to him like because he was like kind of like he's kind of new to wrestling, so he doesn't understand that there's a difference between good heat for a bad guy and go home heat. So like
Right.
where the I was trying to explain that to him, and like go home heat is basically like we don't like you at all. Like we don't even want to
Right.
see you on the show. And he was like shocked that I was like, yeah, when Hogan was on Netflix that last appearance,
Oh
I
yeah.
know that was go home heat. People did not want to see him.
Yeah.
um, do you have? And he was shocked that because Hogan said, "Oh yeah, I could have spun it. I could have made $1 million. I could have been bad guy again." And it's like, I don't think so, man. I don't. It's completely different. That wasn't the same deal.
Mhm.
Did Do you know like what are some wrestlers that you remember that had go home heat? Like, are there any that you can remember that like they'd come out and people would just not want to see them at all?
Randy Orton when he first started,
Yeah.
and he got his arm in the sling, and he was always bragging about like, oh, what recovery, recovery's coming. Like people did not like Randy uh, because of that. Gino Hernandez had a lot of heat, if you remember
They
him.
just they just did not like him.
Yeah, because he was a total arrogant character. That was Gino's whole thing. Gino was an arrogant character. Him and the gentleman's choice, Chris Adams, those guys were like, they would just rub in how rich, how fancy they were. He said Farrah Fawcett was his girlfriend. He lived it up in hard parties. Yeah, Gino was not
G-
liked in a lot of ways because of that, at least by the fans.
Gino died kind of a weird death.
That cocaine intake, yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, he had a weird death, and gentleman Chris Adams had some weird stuff going on in his life too, right?
He did. He did.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
both did.
Chris
Uh,
Adams, yeah, Chris Adams he died straight. He died well, just kind of messed up. It really depends. You take guys like Dino Bravo.
yeah,
If you know what happened to him,
he was unalived because he like stole money from the Canadian mafia for like running cigarettes or something.
yeah, they got him and they left him in his easy chair. So his family saw him, dead, all messed up because they just
He
completely took him out.
Dino Bravo. I don't think a lot of people know that he was like the ultimate baby face when he was in Canada. He was like brunette, strong man, like almost like Hulk Hogan. And then when he got to WWF, Vince is like, "No, nobody can understand what you're saying. You too French Canadian. We're gonna dye your hair, and you're gonna be like this pompous Canadian heel." And I guess Dino Bravo was just like never lost in Canada.
Yeah, between him and guys like Honky Tonk Man, that I don't know one person that seriously was a fan of Honky Tonk Man. Like that's my favorite wrestler. Like I never heard that. But he kind of acts. If you ever see Honky Tonk in interviews, he kind of acts like he's the popular thing because he was there in that time. But I was like, no, nobody had your action figure and nobody like went to you. Like if they had action figures because grandma bought it at Christmas, so they kept it or something like that.
you
You
had
know,
to have you had to have his figure though, so he could be eliminated in your Royal Rumble in your bedroom.
oh, I had that with my Brett and Goldberg figure years ago because like
What would what would you do with those?
oh, I just always just play with them and beat up Goldberg all the time, hit him in the head with the belt,
Oh.
all that stuff. Because like I couldn't believe that this idiot just jacked up a career like that.
Do you
You
think
know,
that I got a good question I've never asked you before. Do you think that
or
if Brett doesn't get injured, okay, in WCW, and he finishes his contract out, WCW goes down, Vince, they have the invasion, Brett comes back to WWF, okay? Not saying he would. I'm not saying he would. Who's the top 3 or 4 guys you would have liked to see him wrestle at that time period?
um, Kurt Angle when he came in.
Yeah, I mean that's the first name I think of.
And that's what Kurt wanted. I put Brock Lesnar down there. I'm sure Brett would want a challenge with that.
Oh
Knowing him.
wow.
Um, Triple H is voided from it because he never liked Triple H. Triple H didn't like him, and he's not
Yeah.
gonna do it. He's gonna blow it off. Um,
What do you think? Like Edge?
um, yeah. I was never Edge seems like a very nice guy, but like I was not a big fan. He's like that character that's just kind of slimy to me.
He the live sex show episode was like
Yeah,
that was ridiculous.
he was slimy, you know. I was like, I wasn't too big on him because of that. But I mean, he seems like a nice enough dude when you watch the documentary about him and stuff.
Yeah.
He's a real deal fan. There's video footage of him at a talk show audience in Canada with Bret Hart. And he's like this young guy, you know, in the audience. It's like, oh, you know, I work at this place. And if you ever want to come down, you know, do that. And, you know, Bret stayed in contact with him. And because of that, who stayed in contact with him, Alex?
Brett.
Everybody, please give some respect on Bret Hart's name. Another person's career that he boomed out. Edge.
He also helped Test, right? Didn't he help Test?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Brett
Bret
helped a
was
lot
all
of
about
people.
that. He did. And it's not just let me help you. No, he took you on the road with him. He was doing shows. You were doing it with him. He walked you through everything, you know, and that's what he was doing. That's why he was a good locker room leader. When Sean got in power, Sean didn't know how to do this stuff. So it was just like, whatever. You know, everybody was like, oh, that's why when Brett came back, the early 2000s, outside of the stroke and all that, like he went down and like Gorilla Monsoon and everybody was like telling him, like, this is bad. You know, like this is not good, Brett. Like this is a really bad situation. So, I mean, you know, people can check out things, but some people are just messed up like that.
There was another wrestler that down in the go away heat, like the guy that comes to mind for me was Rocky Maivia. Like
Oh, Rocky.
fans, they could not stand him when he like because they were and then Roman Reigns when they were trying to make him the big dog Roman Reigns and he wasn't the tribal chief yet. It's just like everybody could not stand either one of those guys. They
Yeah,
won every
Rocky Johnson
match.
was not liked.
Rocky Maivia,
Yeah, well, Rocky Johnson, Rocky
his dad.
Sr. Yeah, he was not liked by certain people.
What was the deal with that?
Tony Atlas talks about it. He said that we didn't see eye to because like uh Rocky Sr., there's a couple things about him. He was always a shyster, you know, he's always up to stuff, you know, like selling other people's cars and stuff like that. He was always up to that. And then the big thing was um gosh, what was it? Um what was it? It'll come to me. It'll come, but he would like, you know, Tony Atlas would talk about he would have Dwayne and his mom in one room in a hotel, and the next room would be his mistress, and he would go
Oh,
and see
really?
her at night. Yeah, that's what it was. And then he like was like trying to get back in the house, and his son like saw him and was like, "Oh," so everything kind of changed from that point on. But
I heard that Rocky Johnson didn't treat The Rock very well when he was growing up. They
no,
didn't really get along. He was really hard on him.
that's
Um,
very true.
The Rock is like he was my favorite. Like in that time period, The Rock was easily my favorite wrestler. I really thought he was electric. What like the most electrifying man, definitely to me. I loved the shirts he wore. I wore the way he talked. I liked how he carried himself. I loved his promos. I loved his in-ring work. I liked that the DDT was his setup finisher. I liked the spine buster pop. It was like a pop-up spine buster, right?
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah,
did that.
I like that. I even liked the people's elbow, dude. Even though I knew it was ridiculous, the opponent would never just lay there. I knew that was insane, but I liked The Rock. I'm so like, what a weird wrestling career. Like he showed up, main evented like those two with John Cena, injured himself terribly like in the second match, I think. Didn't he get hurt really bad in the second match? He, like ripped his
Perfect hurt
quad
all the
off.
time. He hurt all the time because he would get injuries and he would just, I got to do the show, and he would go out with severe injuries and just neglected himself in that way, unfortunately.
I think that when you're, and I'm like speculating, but I think when you're taking that much steroids and you've got that much extra mass on your body just can't. I mean, especially when you get older and you're starting to do those athletic, fast moves. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah,
your body can hang.
that's true.
Drew, what does Johnny say down there?
He's got a couple things down here. He's got Vince Russo had the most go away heat. They used to chat and retire at the Big Show. At Big Show's thing at the end, Chris Jericho had to go away, but took off the year and now is wrestling. Uh, Wrestles very sparingly.
Yeah,
Uh,
Chris Jericho when he was in AEW, definitely fans didn't. I mean, towards the end there, before took his break, and they thought he was going to come back to WWE, fans did not want to see him. Man, Chris Jericho. I'm not body shaming anybody because I'm overweight, but he let himself go big time, and he was still trying to hit those lion salts and all that stuff. It just looked ridiculous.
yeah, I don't blame you. Like the thing about it is like you had those guys that were despicable that did things. I mean, I of course I'm gonna put Dynamite Kid at the top of the list.
Yeah, for sure.
I hate saying that because I like Dynamite's work, but he was a piece of work. That's for sure.
Tiger Mask.
You know what's interesting about Tiger Mask is my buddy I told you that had the nightclub in LA. It was called Tiger Mask.
Was it called Tiger Mask because of the wrestler?
Hmm.
That's cool. So what's the deal with that? Like did Dynamite Kid ever show up there?
No, they thought it would be like a cool name. They came up with it, but he said like wrestling wise, he didn't see a whole lot. Entertainment wise, he saw a whole lot of people. You know, but uh, you know, what can you really do about that one? I mean, Rob ran that nightclub and he would have wrestling nights, but Chris Jericho did show up.
To the nightclub?
Yep.
What year was this?
Late 90s.
Also, Jericho was like Y2J at this point.
He was becoming it, I think, at the time.
Okay.
So,
And
and then
pretty
that's my
cool.
buddy's favorite wrestler. So it was really cool that, yeah, he said
He
he was real.
so he showed up Jericho shows up to the Tiger Mask bar,
Yep.
and Jericho's like a well-known big time partier.
That's
I'm
not
sure.
true.
Did you Okay, I got a question.
Yeah.
What did you think about when Chris Jericho, because they had the countdown, you know, the Y2J countdown, and they were like teasing it for a really long time.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the countdown finally go off. He gets to talk to The Rock, and then they kind of have The Rock bury him on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you remember that? He's like, "What's your name?" He's like, "I told you, no, it doesn't matter what your name is."
He had
Um,
the mirror shirt on, the button up that looks like a giant mirror. Yeah, I remember.
and he had like pigtails almost, or whatever the heck he had going on.
He had a L.A. curl, so he had a Jerry curl that went down. That's what he was wearing.
But why did they have to bury him though? Like, what's your thoughts on that? Just because he was from WCW,
Yeah, they
dude.
get
The night,
their competition with that always. So he's gonna kind of press him
the
because of that.
night, the night that Jericho won the title from Triple H on Raw. It was like 99 2000, and then
Yeah,
they reversed the decision. I wasn't even like a Chris Jericho fan, and I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life, because the crowd just went absolutely crazy. Nobody thought in a million years Chris Jericho was actually going to win that match. Triple H went out and grabbed Hebner and said he did a fast count, and they like restarted the match. Do you remember that?
I do. I do remember that. And I also remember Jericho getting two titles in one night too.
He beat Stone Cold and The Rock in the same night.
Yeah, yeah. Jericho's pretty phenomenal, man. He definitely earned his stripes. I don't care what anybody says. Like Jericho outdid it. And again, Bret Hart's dad,
Hmm.
as well as Lance Storm, because they started at the same time, got those guys ready to go to WWE.
They I was gonna say, like, one thing about Chris Jericho, that whenever there's like a wrestler death or a wrestler GoFundMe, Chris Jericho's always the one to donate first, the largest amount of money, and it's always first. And also, when Owen Hart had his accident, Jericho was like working for, I want to say, WCW still, or maybe just coming into WWE, but didn't have a big contract yet or anything. He didn't just offer, he wrote Martha a check to cover the funeral, and
Yeah.
Martha refused to take it because she knew that he had just started, like he wasn't established, but he literally wrote the check to pay for that, and she refused it.
Well, the thing about the guys that were around the dungeon, they're really humble guys, you know, and, he was one of those guys that was real humble. And she got to understand that, like, hey, this is why, he's got to keep it like that. But yeah, it was a bummer. Jericho was one of the most talented guys out there.
Hmm.
Um, all the stuff he could do and everything, I was just always impressed with everything when it came to him. So it's like, hey, that's definitely cool.
Yeah, he was definitely great on the mic, good in the ring, able to reinvent himself into almost anything, which I think later on with AEW is kind of like he like reinvented himself so many times that, like, every couple months in AEW he had a new faction or a new gimmick. I think people just got tired of seeing him doing something different constantly. I mean, it was to his detriment lately. Changed way too much.
No, that's
Um,
mhm.
yeah, no, I was just gonna say, you got anything else you want to talk about before we wrap it up, brother? I really appreciate
Oh,
you coming back on, dude.
of course. I'm glad to be here, man.
Yeah, I
That's
appreciate you
what it's
big
all
time.
about. Of course. Drew's return to YouTube, I guess you could say. I don't know if you got any comments from people that were around when all that stuff was going on, and but I'm just glad to be here, and enjoy these cool moments with you. You know, that's what I would say.
Well, I appreciate you, man. You definitely been here for me the last couple weeks, and I appreciate you, man. And definitely talk tomorrow if you want to.
Absolutely, man. I enjoy these talks with you, you know. So, I mean, it's really cool to get into that. Before I go, I'll say this. Johnny, I think it was Johnny brought up the love bombing thing. Listen, dude, we're not computer people like this. We're supposed to interact. We're supposed to talk to people. Keep it respectable, but be talkative. Let that person know that, hey, things go well. I can easily say, like, I'll make sure things get taken care of as we get older. Like, that's the biggest thing you got to learn, you know? Um, if you don't learn that, you're not going to get very far. Um, that's just the truth.
Be a gentleman. Be a gentleman.
That, that's the trick. You be a gentleman, handle yourself right, because yeah, it's gonna make a difference, but the dating world is all messed up now when you look at it.
I wouldn't even want to be in the dating world again, dude. There's like you can't do anything correct if you're a guy, and you can't like you show too much interest, you're weird. You don't show enough interest, you're weird. You like don't do exactly what they want you to do, you're weird. I don't know, man. Same thing goes for females too, though. I've seen how these young guys and girls act with each other. It's
Oh
it's a
yeah.
different it's a different world, man. And I feel like they all have multiple options lined up, and it's because of social media, dude. Like, it's a crazy world, man.
Yeah, it's really affected people deeply, as I know, it's not been good. It's really hurt a lot of families, really done a lot of things and shifted people in a whole nother direction that's not good for them, you
Have
know?
you have you seen like are you talking from personal experience with social media?
Hmm.
Okay, with the X.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I
You
think
know,
that. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just gonna add on to that. It's like you'd be surprised, man. Like when people get influenced by social media as well as other things and how it shifts their thinking, and it does that. I've seen people do it. And you can just try your best, to see what you can definitely improve. But
Hmm.
it is what it is, at that point.
I think that you have to like take care of your house first, take care of yourself, take care of your loved ones, your family. All that social media stuff is all none of it's real. None of it is real. It's all highlight reels. And sometimes the highlight reels are fake AF. They're all setups, dude. There's people they're taking like photos where they're in a private jet. No, they're not. It's an AI shot. Oh, they own a Lambo? No, they didn't. They rented it. Oh, they've got a whatever bag? No, they don't. They borrowed it from their friend. You think it looks one way, but it's the other way. And then you find yourself comparing yourself to these people, and you can get unhappy real quick. Comparison
I
is the
agree.
thief of joy.
I agree with everything you said, Alex. It's true. It's a hundred
Um,
percent true.
are you going to be ready for your forklift match tomorrow?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
The Alex Vanover on a forklift match, bro. Drew Danger in his return to YouTube from the Dangerous Dojo versus Johnny Utah, the minimalist from the great state of parts unknown, bro. Go battle it out for the Best Friend Championship Award tomorrow night on Wednesday Night SmackDown. All right,
I'm
Drew. I'm
excited
out
for
of here,
that.
bro. I'm out of here, brah.
All right. Well,
Later,
thanks
man.
for
I'll
letting me
talk to you
hang out with
tomorrow,
you. Okay,
dude.
sounds good, buddy.
Drew,
Yeah,
thanks for hanging out with me.
of course. I'm
All right,
glad. And congratulations on the good news, man.
thank you. Nothing but love. Later, man.
You.